Hello, John, Omar, and everyone. My name is Nadia Anindyati, and my friend is Yu Wang or Anna. We will present to you the theme tree presentation from our group, Group Pink, in today's session, Internet Culture. I will share to you our presentation. So this is our presentation. We will compare the pair A articles. The first one is Crook by Crook. The title is The Digital Native in Context, Tensions Associated with Importing Web 2.0 Practices into the School Setting. And then the second one is by Sumin Zhao, titled Social Media, Video Data, and Heritage Language Learning. So the presentation will consist of 4 parts. First one is abstract, methodology, critical discussion, and the end will be concluded with a conclusion. Regarding the abstract, my friend Anna will explain about it.
Okay, now I'm just going to provide a general idea with you. Could you please turn on the next page, Nadia?
This is already the next page.
Really?
Wait a minute. Maybe I will try to present from another screen. I'm sorry, friends. We have technical issues, but no worries, we will try again. What about this?
Yeah, it works now.
Okay, this is the abstract.
So should I go on?
Yeah.
Continue. Okay. Okay, classmates. So we can see the differences between the two articles from the abstract. Firstly, the digital native in context focuses on the UK secondary school students aged 13 and 15 and their use of Web 2.0 services both in and out of school. And I mean, Web 2.0 is absolutely an important conception in this article in that it suggests the idea of step change. While in the second article, social media, video data, and heritage language learning draws emphasis on how digital technologies affect the children's learning and playing, especially on how young children learn and maintain their family's heritage language and the cultural intergenerational communication on social media. Secondly, we can see that in the first test, the also attempts to analysis 53 focus group conversation around the same of new technology used at home and in school. However, due to the fact that the differences of aims and methods, these two ACEs came to different conclusions. Crook clarifies the connection between Web 2.0 and its application on cultural context of schools, and also discovers that the social and cognitive practices young people cultivate through Web 2.0 tools and the services are shaped and constrained by certain socio-cultural settings. And Giles' essay is more like a multifaceted introduction to children's original identities in becoming literate with technologies, the constructions of their knowledge and learning and their resources, conditions, and learning opportunities. Well, next page, please.
Are you in the next page?
No.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, wait a minute.
Okay. Now,
yeah.
Are you on the right page?
Yeah, I'm in the right page now.
Okay.
So let's continue. Is it empirical research? Yes, both articles use empirical research. In the Crook essay, the data is analysis with a grounded theory approach. The sample comprised the 53 mixed gender focus groups selected from 70 schools, in which 9 of them were famous for academic performance, while 8 of them were for innovative research, and structured conversation targeting a specific question were then performed. For example, what's really popular on the internet right now. Why do you like doing those particular things? Can you think of examples of clever things that others here have done on the web? Or can you think of people having had bad experiences on the web? And our group considered that this essay is using semantic analysis, but we are not sure why. For the second article, the author repeatedly mentioned the WeChat project, which used the opportunistic sampling method. According to the author, a personal contact provided 3 initial families who offered access to a local Saturday Chinese school, where 6 more families were recruited. The families in the project were highly diverse in terms of social, economical background, immigration history, and the parental education and the linguistic backgrounds. And apparently multimodal discourse analysis is used in this article. Okay, then my partner Nadia will give a brief introduction of critical discussion regarding those 2 essays.
Okay, thank you, Anna. So are we now in the critical discussion page? Okay, so it's the right page, right?
No.
Just want to make sure. All right. Sorry, guys. We don't know what happens, but okay, now. So here's the critical discussion. So in terms of the critical discussion, we noticed that Crook acknowledged the previous research by another researchers that mentioned about the engagement of students with the internet is biased towards consumption rather than production. But Crook is rather unsatisfied with this conclusion, and he didn't want to declare that the digital natives are not that native. So departing from this, as mentioned by Anna, Crook made a survey for 53 groups of students. Amongst other questions, students were asked about their engagement with the internet over the previous 24 hours. So apparently, around 50% had used a social networking sites, and then they also used the instant message. And then around a third had used for downloading picture, sharing sites, and also search engine usage. So the full analysis of this survey illustrated how such young people can be said to engage with the 4 themes of communicative practice within the Web 2.0, where they are pursuing inquiry, exploring new literacies, collaborating, and they are also publishing to audiences. So after that, the quantitative research, Crook then made a qualitative research, which apparently after an interview with several students, he came to another conclusion, which we will describe in the next slide. But before that, we will continue to the second article first. So for the second article, Zhao said that for the kids towards the WeChat talks, at the interaction level, traverse within the borders of multimodal and translinguistic meaning-making repertoires happen. At the contextual level, they transcend the barriers between the digital and the face-to-face across geographical places and between diverse social activities. So for example, Dawei's heritage language practices crossed with the adults' reunion ritual, as we seen on this diagram. The boundary crossing aspect of Dawei's literacy practices, by the way, Dawei is the name of the kid, as depicted in the WeChat exchange, is the outcome of the junction of at least 2 forms of mobility. First, the geographical, which is the migration of people, and technical, the spread of mobile phones and social media platforms. To put it on another way, as mobile communication hardware and software technologies progress, the family literacy practices of multilingual immigrant children like Dawei are no longer constrained to a single concrete location, which is only the home. They go between numerous places in their own country, their country of origin, and various transnational sites. So what is the conclusion then? Are we on the conclusion page, Anna?
No,
Okay.
just wait. Or
Right.
now.
Here's the conclusion. So our group made a conclusion for the Digital Native in Context article by Crook. We made a conclusion that actually young people, in terms of these 4 types of communication, has different perspective compared to with the in-school perspective. In terms of inquiry, the students understand that the inquiry is multimodal and also questions by keyword searching strategies. Result of this inquiry is personal or recreational, so it's for fun for them. But when it comes to school, there is certain expectation, and the inquiry needs to be schematic or constructed in the neat way. And in terms of collaborative, it's also similar. For the students, they tend to have an informal kind of collaboration with their friends and peers. But then in school, the collaboration needs to be more organized as well as more episodic. In terms of publication, young people have a relationship with their audiences, but they need control. This kind of control means that they don't want to have the audience judge them critically, but it's in the school that they're being critically judged, and then there's certain lasting and stable evaluation over time. Lastly, there is a conflict around literacy as well. In the young people, in terms of literacy, indicates a societal tendency towards favored modes of representational expression. The young people's openness to multimodality in particular is rarely matched by a comparably generous agenda in the teaching and administration of educational subjects. So they want to express themselves in the representational way, in their own self-representation, but the school wants it rather in educational atmosphere, so more formal, you know. Yeah, about the second article, there are four conclusions. First of all, younger children use social media and their practices are frequently intertwined with their parents' use of social media. Secondly, these social media related activities frequently provide youngsters with inadvertent heritage learning chances. Third, adults, be it parents or grandparents or any connections with the family social network, must give scaffolding assistance or like guidance to generate opportunities for prolonged interaction and language development. And lastly, when young children engage in social media behaviors, they frequently engage in many forms of learning and socialization at the same time. So that's the conclusion, meaning the end of our presentation. Is there anything else that you want to add, Anna?
No.
Okay, so if you guys have any question or advice or suggestion, please feel free to give it to our Moodle. Lastly, thank you very much for your attention. Hope it gives you insights. So I'm stopping the recording.